Seller's disclosures are so important if you're selling a house or you're buying a house. If you're selling a house, you want to make sure that when you're filling that seller's disclosure out, you are telling obviously the truth, first off, but second of all, you are filling it out because what you're doing is you're telling the buyer, here's some really good things about my house, and here's some things you need to know if you're considering buying my house. So what am I talking about? Well, if you're one of the people who have your septic tank pumped every 3 to 4 years, that's a really good thing. Because a lot of people never have their septic tank pumped at all until there's an issue. So if you put that on there that I've had it pumped, then a future buyer is looking at that going, that is a plus. Same thing if you have your house under a termite bond, that's always looked at as a plus versus not being under one. Another one is your HVAC. Do you have it serviced or you just don't have it serviced and do it yourself? There's both ways. We have done both in our past. Right now, we are having it serviced. In years before, we didn't have it serviced. So either way is fine. You just want to disclose that. And then you, as the buyer, when you're reading that seller's disclosure, notice I said reading it, not skimming it. You really want to read it and make sure you understand what did they say, what did they fill out, and did they leave anything blank? Because sometimes people will skip questions because they don't want to answer them. So you want to look and make sure it's properly filled out, nothing's blank, and if you have a question on it. The other thing is on what stays with the house. If you're a seller and you check off that it's staying with the house, you have to leave it. So this is where if you have weird stuff, oh gosh, maybe weird wasn't the right word. Let's say you have things that you don't want to move and you're not for sure they want to have it. You can put that on the seller's disclosure as it's staying with the property, and then they have the opportunity to negotiate, no, we don't want that. So like, here's an example, and that would be pool tables. Some people love pool tables. Some people hate pool tables. I've never had anybody be excited about moving a pool table. So like they will check off that they are going to leave the pool table. And then you, as the buyer, if you look at that and you go, you know what, I don't want the pool table, then you have to ask them to remove it because on the seller's disclosure, they told you up front they're leaving it. That's why they're so important to read and make sure you are good with what's staying and you are good with what's staying. Or if you're a buyer and you really, really want something, like the refrigerator, if it's not checked off, then when you go do your final walkthrough and there's no refrigerator, they're going to come back and say, well, we told you that. So read it, read it, read it. Ask questions. Call me. That's what we're here for.